Ladies and gentlemen, it's crunch time.
It's a fun song.
I mean, I guess, yeah. Hi, folks. Welcome to Thursday. I feel like the week went by a little fast.
It did.
Like, just a little bit. I mean, to some degree, I always feel like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But especially this week. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we just, what is it?
I got one too, but I have long hair and a sweater on, so.
Yeah, I wore my 1962 shirt on Tuesday.
Uh-huh.
And we had ordered all the stuff from the store so we could see it. And this is one of them. This is actually one of my favorite shirts. And it doesn't have anything necessarily to do with our community specifically.
You just made it and thought it was funny.
I did think it was funny. And my experiences with it, have just been, when you're on Discord and you see that, you think, oh boy. And it's fun. Hi, bud. It's already quite warm up here, so
yeah.
We'll see how overheated I get with Sagan on my lap.
It was like 70 something yesterday.
It was warm.
This is the current temperature outside.
Get out.
That's what it was. That's why it's windy and the cold front came through. It says it's
You're
supposed
lying.
to be 20 and raining.
There's no way.
Is it going to be sleeting today?
Get out. Mine says it's 64.
Oh no, I have it turned to Celsius because I was...
I checked the weather when I woke up because that's what I do because I'm a creature of habit. It was 64 degrees. Mallory just shows me the phone and it's like, it's 18. And I'm thinking, how? How is it 18 degrees outside? No, it was 70 yesterday. Can you imagine what on earth to go from 70 to 18? No, it's 64. Sudden ice age, right?
And it was nice yesterday. I had a t-shirt
64.
on and like no coat.
Yeah, it was I mean, like there was a period in January for like 2 weeks where it had been pretty cold. And now nope. Early February, time for the 70s. I mean, we're going to dip into the 50s.
Oh.
But that's it. Crazy. The high of today is 71. 71, 57, 53, 62, 69. Nice. 71, 64, 75. Oh my god. Yeah, a week from today it'll be 75. So yeah, it's cold. My apologies to everyone still going through winter. 10 degrees in Minneapolis.
23 in Milwaukee. 28 in Muncie.
Yeah. Thomas says, "Are we just saying numbers now?" Yeah, Thomas. Thomas, what's your favorite number? Brandon's is 68. Thomas is 22. People have favorite numbers, you know that?
Yeah, I like 8.
Thomas says favorite number is 31.
I like
3.14.
8 is upright infinity.
Is that why you like it?
Yeah.
My favorite number's always been 3. Ever since I was a kid. It's interesting to see people's favorite numbers. 3 worked out really well for me because 3 was the number for Venusaur in the Pokedex. And I that, along with the fact that Venusaur was green, contributed heavily to my my enjoyment of that Pokemon. I was like, yep, me and him, man, we're made for each other. And hey, I just thought of this right now, but 3 and 8 are like, they look similar, but 8 is like a complete 3, so you complete me. Was that cute? It's kind of stupid. But I just thought of it. I was like, Hold on. Wait for my logic to connect, but I'm almost there.
You're getting there.
I'm almost there. Of course, if yours is 8, it's like you didn't need me. Anyway, we won't read too much into it. Let's read just a few things here before we tell you some exciting news, because there's some news that happened that's exciting. We got a 6-month sub from Commander Beckles. We also have a 6-month sub from Yankee Gal 13. Congrats to both of you for double plus. We got 16 months from Cassie and 16 months from Sybe. So 6 and 6, 16, 16. Sybe says, "Oh yeah, 16." Congrats to all of you, and thanks for sticking around. We appreciate it. We got 300 bits from Paint Chipper, who says, "Morning, grandparents. Can't believe it's already Thursday. How time flies when there's always coffee to drink and toast to eat." And I've got some today. I'm in the light.
It doesn't have seeds. That's why it looks so strange.
Well, yeah. I think I like my jam seeded. I prefer that. Mm-hmm. You bought seedless. Mm-hmm. Is there a specific reason, or? Okay. Well, it caught the light, and there was just a very thin reflection, and I thought it was a cat hair. And I looked down, and it was my first thought. It's like, oh, good. My first bite will have a cat hair in it.
Seasoning.
You do recall that, like, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, we went through our restaurant hair lineup, right?
Yeah.
We're done with that. We cannot go back. Good God. We got 15 months from Coffee Purin, who says, 15 months down, many more to go. Thank you guys for being you and all the laughs. No problem. And also, I hope everyone enjoyed, or if you were here, the first 20 stream that I did on Tuesday. It was fun. Mm-hmm. We played some really good games. Actually, that was a good time, and those will be coming out on YouTube for the next bit. And it was funny because the first game that we played was Tokyo Mirage Sessions, and that one's coming out Friday. And during the beginning, there's a anime-style intro that has like licensed Japanese music, and I'm just thinking, yeah, this is gonna have to change. So I just gave Dan like full reign, and he changed it. Which, I mean, he probably needed to do, because we probably would have been in trouble. I don't particularly like the way that the system works on YouTube, where it's like, I'm asked by a company to make a video of a game, so I do it. The video is 70 minutes long, but there's 45 seconds of a licensed song, and because of that, the person that made the song would own the ad revenue of the entire 70 minutes, which is, on paper, looks crazy. But that's why we have to change that stuff. So, anyway, he changed it to a good song. I actually told him to go crazier with it, and he didn't. It's pretty reserved for what I told him to do. I was like, yeah, you can use like banjos. And he was like, so he tried to match it a little bit. We've got 12 months. From Waste and Aeon, 12 months of crunch. Even though I rarely have the time to watch these outside of VODs, it'll still be nice to support you in some way. I appreciate that. And congrats on a full year. Let's see, we also get 100 bits from Heathcliff510. Thank you, Heathcliff. 17 months from Phelps Out. This week I started my internship. It's the first time I work with an actual salary. By the way, changed my username. Coffee! The timing of that makes it sound like I'm going to change my username to Coffee.
It's taking us so precious.
Shout out to whoever managed to get the Coffee username on Twitch. Anyway, that's awesome. And it's also good that, like, you're getting paid for your internship. Mm-hmm. Coffee! That was a whole thing at SCAD.
Yeah. Supposed to have an internship.
Well, yeah, like you had to have an intern. Well, you didn't have to have an internship, but they like tried to help you get one.
Yeah.
But
most of them were unpaid.
There was some. SCAD tried to go out of their way to like negotiate with companies to be like, pay our students. You know, so that's good. glad that there's a salary involved. 15 months from Arion 661. Soon to a great number. Almost there. Wasn't Furnace Fun playing earlier? Or is this a different version? Oh, whatever. It's just a Banjo-Kazooie type of day. Yankee Gal 13 gifted a sub to Furnace Funeral. See, that's weird. Because that's like... That must have been in reference to the earlier song.
Yeah.
Because that was 6 minutes ago. Unless Yankee Gal can tell the future. In which case, I got some things I'd like to know. 12 months from Gadzooks. This is so fun to see a breakfast stream for once. I usually work all night, so I have to sleep during the morning. Also, my favorite number is 4. There's a lot of people that, they keep their favorite number single digit. I mean, both Mal and myself do. But then I also saw a few, you know, folks that were talking about, like, 555. I think Squid said 666. Cheers, Satan! Satan of Baconator. I don't know if I've seen anyone that gets, like, super...
They're like 3 digits.
Well, like
higher.
four digits. You know, at that point, it's getting too hard to remember the number. You know, when it gets that specific, I'm like, that's too hard. There's too many numbers. Satan and Baconator, I like that name. Satan and Baconator sounds like when Wendy's has lost its mind. Every combo meal comes with a free exorcism. 14 months from Infinite Zero Riddle. Thank you, Infinite. I'm desperately trying to move my mouse. It is fighting me. You know, how many times now have I yelled at this?
A lot.
I think I need to deal with this.
Then deal with it.
Hey Siri. Remind me tonight to look into new wireless keyboards.
Okay, you're reminded.
Don't get me wrong, having the mouse and the keyboard in one unit is wonderful. But it's got problems. Dang it. But I'll just hold it up here like a crazy person. 10 months from Bluewood Studios. I made it to 10 months. Thank you both for all you do. Now time to get ready for a math class. Can't wait for the end of the semester. I don't envy you, because I don't envy math. There was not...
Trust the math.
I like math from like a... I don't know what the word would be. From a standpoint of like, isn't math incredible? It's a universal language, and you're always going to get the same like results when you do the math correctly. Like, that's fascinating. I'm just bad at it. Are people doing M for math? Yes, thank you, Brandon. I like the abstract concept of math, not the practice thereof. That's exactly how I feel about it. I think it's incredible. Like, holy crap. Mathematics, amazing. I don't want to do it, but the fact that it exists, real neat.
See, I really loved geometry and basic algebra, but once we started getting into like trigonometry, I was like, no.
Yeah, no. Math, I saw, there was a message scroll by. Who said that? Yeah, Peach Macaron says, math was the first time I failed a class. Math was the first time over the course of several years in high school, I watched my grades just slip, and it was all thanks to math. It was a slippery slope because every year my grade went down. And that was fun. Geometry was where it wasn't where it started, but that was geometry was where I had to get tutoring. I was like, oh, I'm not good at this. Anyway.
See, I was always just good spatially. So that was just like the next step for me. Like, oh, look.
I have very vivid memories of sitting in an old woman's kitchen with her showing me a Campbell's soup can and trying to explain to me how cylinders work. And just sitting there thinking, I hate this. Like, I really don't like what's happening. This is terrible. And, you know, just wanting to go shoot videos with my friends. But I guess that worked out.
Yeah. I mean...
And I'm going to tell you, I haven't had to figure out the surface area of a cylinder once. There ain't never been one time where in any situation...
I mean, I use geometry a lot with drawing.
Well, sure.
Yeah. But, like, when I got to... The last high school class I took was Trig and Pre-Calc. They were together. Mm-hmm. And then in college, I took Logic and Stats. I did terrible in Stats. I had a terrible professor. But, like, that was it. And then my sister goes to school for science, and she's like, yeah, I'm taking differential equations, too.
I don't even know what that means.
I know. I was like, what is that?
that?
She's like, well, that's what's beyond calc. And I was like, oh.
They should have called it Beyond Calc, because that's way cooler sounding. Algebra 1, 2, 3, 4, Calc, Beyond Calc. I don't know. High school was so long ago for me. Like, not only was it 10 plus years ago, it's also like, it's so long ago in my memory that it feels like 100 years ago. And even having that much distance between that and now, if I start to think about that math and putting myself in those situations too much, I have like just vague like PTSD over dealing with all of that. I can remember vividly being caught, like, after a geometry exam, the teacher would be outside of the classroom and call us out individually to talk to us. And I can still remember getting called out to go talk about my geometry exam. And he was like, you know, you may want to pursue tutoring. And just thinking, like, I know I don't understand what's going on. It was not good. Arian said, do I have any high school friends I regularly stay in contact with? Yeah, I mean, the one who I stay in contact with most now is Austin.
Yeah.
Because Austin's at a lot of the lunch bunches and stuff like that. I still talk to Jarrett pretty frequently. Jarrett, I don't think Jarrett's been on the vlog in a bit. No. But his life is crazy busy. So, same with Justin. Like, yeah. I don't talk to Justin a whole lot because he's super busy because he's always like making stuff. I would tell you to visit his website, but I know for a fact it's down right now because I just switched his name servers over for him. But if you go to Etsy, you search for Brandfuhr Studios, BRANFUHR. He's the guy that makes like all of the replicas and stuff like that. So those are the people I stay in contact with most, which isn't that surprising because those were also the three people I hung out with most in high school. So the cool weapon thingies. Yeah. Yeah,
that's him.
He makes props. There's been he's made stuff for Bungie. He's got stuff in green rooms of a lot of the late shows.
He's done like movie props too.
Thank you,
now.
Brandon, for the link. Yeah, he's done a bunch of stuff for like movies and television now. And actually,
also that Brandfuhr Studios, you can go on Instagram.
Yeah, you should follow Justin on Instagram. He does incredible work. Like it's, and this is.
Sorry.
Good.
Yeah, I'm fine.
I don't want to seem insensitive.
I'm fine.
This just happens a lot.
Oh yeah.
This just happens a lot. One of the things actually about social media and just the age we live in is that a lot of times you may not have contact with someone, but because you're seeing their posts, it tricks our, monkey brains into thinking like, I've communicated with this person.
Yeah, didn't I just talk to them?
Yeah. So like, when I think about it, I'm like, when's the last time I saw Justin? And it's like, oh, it's been a hot minute.
We saw him the day we went and toured the studio in June.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been a while.
No, we saw him for Sam's birthday.
Briefly.
Yeah.
Briefly. So yeah, it's been a hot minute. But I see the stuff that he's making. Actually, the reason that I had to swap his name servers over is that he sells stuff on Etsy, but apparently, from what I understand, Etsy has some issues with, like,
replicas.
Realistic gun replicas.
Yeah.
Because he runs the gamut on what he makes. Like, he'll make stuff from, like, Star Wars, but he'll also make, like one-to-one, super accurate handgun replicas from, like, John Wick and stuff like that. And some of the stuff, and I can't tell you why I know this, is screen accurate. Like, it's the exact same thing that was used in, like, the movie or the television show or whatever. So because of that, he wants to get an actual website, like, set up so he can sell, like, the replica guns. Because Etsy's like, could you not? And if there's a market for that, you know, people want that for, you know, cosplay or whatever. And he's like, yeah, I need to figure that out. So anyway, shout out to Justin. I don't know if he'll see this. I haven't talked to him in a bit. Anyway, 300 bits from Shy. 7 to 18 sounds like a terrible fate indeed. Anyway, morning from the Midwest, where we live that reality. Gross.
My dad's in Florida right now, so I know he's, like, really excited.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest roller coaster we've had on weather was, we were going from, like, 70 to, like, 39, which is, like, most of the way there, but, like, not quite there.
Yeah.
Like, pretty close, but not all the way. We've got 300 bits from Gold Mage, who says, not been the best week, but cool to find out Mal and I share a favorite number. Got to do lots of baking later today, bread and cake, and cooking tonight for a party tomorrow. That unfortunately means I'll be missing Friday night stream. I loved you playing Okami. What are the chances of you both LPing or streaming that? Hoping you both are well. P.S. Mal, that painting is gorgeous.
Thank you.
It's a possibility. You know, there's, and this is a sentiment I think a lot of people share. Also, thank you, Kikyo, for the subs. I appreciate that. There are too many games. like as a concept. Like, there's too many video games. Just period. Like, what if we had, like, a limit on how many games could be made? Like, you know, 5 a year. That's it. You only get 5. All the companies band together and make 5. And then we can, like, play them. As opposed to, there's, like, 5 games a day coming out. I'm like, that's just too many. It's too many. It's a good song. People get really excited to hear Muffin Man.
People are asking about Sagan. He's taking a bath.
He was taking a bath last night loudly. As soon as the lights went off, we laid there for just a second, and all of a sudden, what? Am I making fun of you? That's what you sounded like, man.
He's sitting like a person right now.
Hey.
Look at those whiskers.
He's a good boy. Oh god, here comes the other one. You can't, listen, if you're on my lap, I will get overheated. I won't be able to do it.
Cappy.
Come here,
Cappy.
Can you walk around the couch, actually? That'd be more convenient. Okay, just whatever. It's fine. Anyway, Gold Mage, I hope that your baking goes good today. We are also having a party today. I think I talked about it the other day, but we decided that the first Thursday of every month, instead of doing Lunch Bunch out, we'll do Lunch Bunch here and play board games. So that's happening today. We're going to have everybody over here for lunch, and we're going to just play board games and hang out. So I'm looking forward to that. It's not timed well because I haven't gotten a lot of stuff done.
Or sleep.
Or sleep. I'm just down on a little sleep, but not like a lot. And yeah, Brandon, we are hosting Lunch. It's only going to be once a month. It would be cool if at some point we had people over here for like a short time every week, and then we could do something like D&D. But for now, it's just going to be once a month. Come over, do stuff. Sorry. The thing that Brandon says is not incorrect, but still, trying to get there. 500 bits from Chemist, who says, I think my resub notif got eaten, so here's the gist of it. 16 months? Well, 16! Thank you, Chemist. And my apologies on behalf of Twitch and or Streamlabs, because I don't know who's responsible for eating things, but occasionally it does happen. And congratulations on 16 months. So many. Speaking of one, a 16-month notification that didn't get eaten, 16 months from Missing Node Leader. Happy 16 months, excited for high score girls. Why was that so hard to say? Was it because my brain was trying to autocomplete with high school?
Yes.
High score girls. That is remarkably hard for my brain to say. It just, my brain starts to form an L. It's like, did you mean school? I'm like, no. In America, at least the manga version, though now that my contract finished, I have to find a new one. I hope you have a good month.
This is the second call I've gotten from them.
That's weird.
And it's like, hey, the first one was like, hey, can you call us right away?
Well, then why don't you answer it?
Hello? Yes. Yes.
It's our doctor. Because I saw her earlier, she looked down, and I was like, I don't know what that's about. And then she's like, this is the second time they called. And I'm like, well, it's a doctor. You can take it. It's fine. So I don't know what that's about.
Coffee!
Hopefully everything's good. I guess we'll know. I'm like, you know, it's not like, she doesn't have to be like right here. It's fine. You guys don't care. It's a very casual thing. Remember when we were at the old house and like in the middle of the show, like the ISP guy came in? Setsi says, we care, but yeah, you know, I understand you care. It's just the understanding is like, you know, it's fine. Oh, and Raisin Toast was blaring in the living room. Yeah, you guys thought that was funny. Oh, there's someone in the house that has no context about what's going on. Bad enough that there's already like a camera in the living room. Let's make the speakers play Raisin Toast. Hi.
Hi.
So...
The appointment we have next week?
Yeah.
She's like, Mason's like, you don't need that. And I'm like, yeah, but I want to know my numbers.
Your doctor told you not to come in?
For the lab work.
For the blood test?
Yeah. And I was like, well, I kind of wanted to know my numbers.
Okay.
So, and she's like, oh, yeah, okay. So we won't cancel it. And I was like, okay, cool.
I mean, that's kind of neat that the doctor's like, I don't want your money. Don't come in. But, I mean, for me, I want my numbers because...
Well, I told her that you had an appointment the same day, and you have history of high cholesterol, so you were interested for sure.
I want to see how I'm doing.
Yeah.
But you, I mean, you're healthier than me. It's not a thing I want to admit to, but it's just like, I know it's true.
Yeah, I mean...
Anyway.
It's an annual physical, it's covered.
So you might as well do it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. 300 bits from Heathcliff510, who says, finally here live after catching up on VODs. Hello from the West Coast. It's my birthday this weekend. Happy birthday! And, geez. Shout out to all the West Coasters. Can we get a show of hands of West Coasters here this morning? Because it early.
Yeah, it is.
It very, very early. Because I know some of them are here. Congrats to you for the birthday. Congrats to all West Coasters. 2 hands. 3 hands, 4 hands. You know, it's gonna be a minority. I understand that we're a little early. James says, I slept for 30 minutes.
She says, I made it today. Hi, sweetheart, come here.
Well, West Coast of Norway.
Come here.
Hey, everyone's West Coast of somewhere. We're West Coast...
Of the ocean.
No, we're West Coast if you're standing upside down. Anyway, 300 bits from Squid. Speaking of school, I'm curious, have you ever fallen asleep in class before? Personally, biology was the only one I've had trouble staying awake in. There were definitely, like, I was the guy in high school that I would stay up late, you know, and I didn't always get enough sleep. I have very vivid memories of staying up late to work on RPG Maker projects and then being sleepy the next day. But I almost never fell asleep in class.
I would. Not all the time, but I would.
That probably happened maybe once or twice, but I don't have any, like, strong memories of it. We had someone in our class, in our high school class, who was, what's the one where you fall asleep randomly?
Narcolepsy?
Yeah. So we had a narcoleptic in our class. And it was one of those things that, like, it had happened early in, like, his high school career. And, you know, the teachers were always, like, you know, mad about it. And then he went to the doctor, and the doctor was like, yeah, you have narcolepsy. And then it was like the teachers weren't mad, but they did have to wake him up. So that was a whole thing. I always felt bad for him. But he was a really nice guy.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
We ran into him randomly once, one day when we were at the park. I hadn't seen him.
Yeah, okay.
I hadn't seen him in years. He was always nice. Like, we weren't, like, super, super close, but he was always, like, very friendly and very nice. And me and Mal were at the park one day. This isn't on the vlog, obviously, but we were at the park, and he was there, him and his wife, and I think he had, like, 2 daughters. And he stopped me. He's like, Steven. I was like, oh my God, hey man, it's been forever.
Is there tissues down there?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
Cappy has this.
Oh, is he a little dirty?
Yeah.
There might be
reach with
tissues
his
up here
tongue.
somewhere, but I'm not sure exactly where they are.
Let's hold that tail so you can clean it. That's my hand.
Bless that cat. 500 bits from Gadzooks, who says, high school math is essentially a bunch of worthless numbers. I'll let you know the day I have to use anything I ever learned in calculus 2. I mean, I think that that's a lot of people's experiences, for better or worse. And sometimes you'll go on to actually use it, and that's good. I think to some degree, actually, some of the things that you are interested in high school dictate where your interests lead you for your career. So, like, if you're in math and you do well at math and you like it, you may use it because you have an interest and it leads you into a career that uses it.
I see tissues, Cappy.
Yeah, like DC Racer says, I'm an engineer and I use it daily. So if you're in high school and you're like, oh, I like this, it may, you know, and if you're good at it, especially, it may tell yourself, you know, hey, I could pursue a math field, whereas, you know, someone like Stephen George could not. I would not make a great engineer. I would not make a great engineer. I really wouldn't. I can think of a lot of people that I would let down if they were like, can you do this? I'd be like, no. I can maybe draw a picture of it. 300 bits from Jam, who says, I'm glad that you're all warm there. Still getting over the sinus Armageddon that is going from 22 degrees to -8
Come here, Kika.
in 36 hours. Converted to Celsius ahead of time. 72 to 19 for everyone else. That's too big. Also, next StephenVlog, cylinders. Note, my favorites of the Tuesday stream were how Mystery Dungeon was Mao and included Skitty Mao.
Steven was telling me about that.
It was funny. And live TV editing for the finale. But everything was awesome, especially the fever dream of Shin Megami Idol RPG with Fire Emblem talent-eating ghosts. I think the craziest thing is that is literally the game. Shin Megami Idol RPG with Fire Emblem talent-eating ghosts is literally that game. It'll be out Friday, and if you've never seen it, you don't know anything about it, watch the first 20. It's nuts. Like, the plot is wild. It's a wild game. And I don't know when Not for Broadcast will come out, because that was the last one we did. But I love that game. It's very rare you get to play a game that you feel is like truly a new concept. That just doesn't happen. There's a lot of spins on old concepts, and I know people are always trying to innovate, but like, Not for Broadcast was great. Really.
I didn't see it, but you told me about it.
I really, really liked it. like just conceptually. So that one may have the least commentary of anything on the channel. Yeah, I probably said like 10 words. It was so hard because I was trying to pay attention to all the things. We got 16 months from the Chemist 2020. Oh, there it is. Yay, 16. I think Twitch is a problem. This is try 5. On the bright side, at least it's not your 16th try. So that's good. Finally, up to the 5 gift subs from Kikyo. They went to Chiaki Nani, Child Dorks, Brinny Rocks 27, Link Chef, and Bree Bones 3. Thank you, Kikyo. I appreciate that. Thanks for giving out some gift subs this morning. And people are asking for beans. Okay, yes, it's plenty time for beans.
Plenty time. Plenty beans.
Plenty bean time. The bean time has occurred now. Patreon.com/StephenGeorge or Mamix if you're interested in supporting us on those platforms. We actually just had. You didn't. I had a Patreon video just come out 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So there's something new there. I try to release I say try. I have consistently for 4 years. Released a Patreon video every month, and that's my thing. Mal's Patreon is about behind-the-scenes looks at her paintings.
Yeah.
Including the one that is currently done.
Yeah. That
I need to go through probably this evening, and we'll get it posted maybe
probably
tomorrow.
Tomorrow before the stream.
Yeah. And then maybe we'll show it off during the stream.
Yeah.
Says nothing. Might be appropriate. 300 bits from Jam. He says, that game comment reminds me of a great Ask Reddit where it postulates you are the good kind of immortal, and the only way you can die is if you 100% your Steam library. Someone on Reddit literally wrote the longest single comment I've ever seen. It was not me, but it was a hilarious short story. Wow. I think if I had to complete my Steam library, I would just never die. I don't know how many games are in there now, but it's several. There are so many games that never, ever come to the channel because I'm getting dev keys daily, and they get put in there, and then they never show up. And Satsy says, Jam has elongated your library. That is a objectively true fact also. Jam has contributed a lot to the first 20 library, or the Steam library, and that combined with the fact that everyday devs are like, play this game. Yeah, I think I'd just be stuck. Especially if I kept getting dev keys. I would never be able to die because I would never be able to play them fast enough. It's too hard. Paint Chipper gifts a sub to Pasta Dancer 22, putting them at 2 months. Thank you, Paint Chipper. So I'm all cleared up through alerts. Yeah. So let's talk about the thing that happened yesterday, because I think folks will be interested to know.
Yeah.
We no longer have the 2004 Ford Escape.
Should I post my goodbye picture?
Your goodbye picture?
I took a picture.
We have a new car. And I am eternally grateful for the immense amount of...
That's the goodbye picture. Goodbye.
That was where we left it. That's the last we'll ever see of it. That car has been nothing short of a miracle, and I think most of the people that have been watching the vlog for any amount of time realize that. It's done us good.
Yes.
It has done us good. I got the car in 2008. It's a 2004, so it was already... don't say you'll never see it again. I've seen my old car twice in town. I mean, maybe. So it was. I got it in 2008. It was a 2004. When I got it, it had 60,000 miles on it, and we left it with 206,000. So we put 146,000 miles on the car over the course of 12 years. And Consumer Reports gives it a 1 out of 5 in customer satisfaction.
And reliability.
A 1 out of 5 in reliability. People said that within the first few months of owning the car, it started to leak oil, that it was unreliable. The car has had like 8 recalls, terrible safety things. I actually stopped using cruise control on the car a few years ago because it was not safe. One of the things that happens during cruise control is that the acceleration can just get stuck.
It's because the wire gets pinched.
You know, I've been driving this car a long time, and Mao has requested for several years that we get something else, and, you know, I'm the type of person that I really don't want to replace something unless it's broken, and it wasn't until last year. That things started going wrong with the car that were starting to become worth more than the value of the car. And replacing the alternator, having some maintenance work done, tie rod ends, like, that stuff happened last year, and I was like, it's time. So Brandon says not sponsored, right? Yeah, it's not sponsored. We got the Subaru. It would have been cool to be sponsored by Subaru. We were not. Subaru, if you're watching, hey, I have to drive a car. You could be the one. You are now.
But we could see the Outbackers.
Reach out, Subaru. So we had test driven the Forester about 2 weeks ago, and we really liked it. We test drove a premium, and after we did that test drive, we came home and we started to do... I mean, we'd already done research to guide us to the Forester in the first place, but we decided to do more research about what we wanted to do, and a lot of it came down to whether we wanted to buy a used car, buy a new car, or lease a new car. And it took a lot of time to figure out exactly what we wanted to do in regards to that.
Talking to other people,
our accountant, deciding what made the most sense to do for us. And I've mentioned this, I think, on the previous breakfast stream, but if you're leasing a car in your business, there's actually a fair bit of tax benefit to do that. So we decided even if we were going to get the car, which we wanted to get a car that we're going to have for like 10 plus years, leasing the car actually still made the most sense, because for those 3 year period while you're leasing, you get all of those tax benefits. So you'll still get the car at the end, you buy out the car, but it still makes more sense financially to do that and get the tax benefits for 3 years instead of just buying the car. So that's what we did. But we were, when we came home from that day and we were doing all of this, we were looking at all of the available options, trying to figure out exactly what we wanted to do, and then also having the understanding of, like, if we're going to buy a car and we're going to have this thing for 10 years, we want to make sure that we get something that we want, something that is nice. Kikyo, thank you again for buying more gift subs.
Brandon pointed out it's specifically business tax benefits, not personal tax benefits.
That.
Yes.
Like, I'm not going to say that leasing a car doesn't make sense for someone who doesn't have an LLC, because depending on your specific situation, your needs, and your wants, because there's people that are car people, and they want to switch cars every 3 years, and, like, leasing makes that good for you. But if you have an LLC, look into that. Talk to your accountant about it, because it made the most sense for us. We were looking at all the package options and what we could do, and we really liked the look of the Sport. The Sport was the only model that had a very particular aesthetic, and one of the things that we missed about how vehicles looked now is that they don't have a sporty look.
Yeah.
There's a particular style of what I like in the Ford Escape that I had, and, like, cars have went from being boxy and having, like, I don't know how to describe it other than, like, the sporty look, and they've all kind of went. There's a lot of, what's the word when it's a car? Crossover?
Yes, there's been a lot of.
There's a lot of those now, and I don't really like them. I like them to be fairly distinctly SUVs. So the Sport Forester was the one that appealed most to both of us.
Yeah.
And yesterday, we went back down to the dealership not necessarily with the idea of like we're going to get something today, but we just wanted to see exactly what they had. I wanted to get a chance to test drive the Sport specifically because I hadn't done that, and I got to do all those things. And then we got a car. And I will tell you exactly how that went, because in my humble opinion, I feel like we did pretty good.
Brandon has pictures queued up, by the way.
Let's go ahead and show the pictures, Brandon, so people can see it. I got two different pictures, one of the exterior and one of the interior.
This isn't ours. This is just...
Well, it's a stock, stock thing. This is the car that we got. This is going to be the car that is, a part of, I guess, vlog history for the next 10 plus years. The Sport has the little orange accents, which we thought were cool, and we're pretty sure make the car go faster. So that
and yes, we did get that color.
We did get white. Originally, Mal and I were going back and forth on what the color should be. We had gray as a color in mind that we thought...
And it was dark, like couch gray, like this gray.
Yeah. Well, here.
That's gray, yeah.
There you go, so you guys can see that. And after we got there, one of the things that the person that was helping us pointed out, because I liked gray and then I also liked black. One of the things that the person helping us pointed out is the picture still stuck. Someone call Chaz! There's a car stuck on the screen.
He was here earlier.
Maybe if I show something else, it'll go away. This is car screen.
Show the interior.
See, I thought Brandon just put it up for extra time so people would have a chance to see it, and I was like, yeah, that's reasonable. If it gets stuck, I can always turn off Chaz overlay. I can also do that.
Here, I can post an actual picture from yesterday too.
Chaz says reset the item in OBS. Okay, hold on. Wait, which one is that? Oh, God.
Don't you have it labeled Chaz?
Well, I don't know if I do that in the breakfast stream one. Hold on.
Button bar.
Patreon ticker. That's what it's called. All right. Grip. Grip.
Oh.
Hold on. Let me go in properties. Refresh cache of current page. There we go. I refreshed the cache. Little did we know that what brought upon us was an eldritch curse by buying the Subaru. It would break our streaming equipment forever. Here's the interior. And that orange accent color from the outside is followed inside on the seat stitching, and then also around the air vents and the shifter and stuff. It's a very pretty car. I know not everyone would be into the orange.
Yeah.
Mal showed it to Carly, and Carly was like, that thing's ugly. Here's a picture of the actual car. But we like it. We like it. But, once we got there and I got a chance to see the vehicles in person, I realized that all of the accents on the car are black.
Around the lights.
Around all of the stuff. And, if you get a darker car, you don't get to see any of that. And Matt was pushing for white, too, because she was like, well, if we get white, it won't show
dirt as easy.
Dirt and stuff as easily. And I was like, okay. The other thing, to some extent, is that if you have a lighter car or a white car, it reflects light, so your car isn't as warm as if you had, a black car.
And it gets hot here.
What?
I really liked the dark blue, but I know you didn't.
Yeah.
They also didn't have it, so...
We had to at least agree on stuff, and I shot down the dark blue pretty quick. I was like, I don't want a blue car. I'm sorry. I don't want that.
And we wouldn't have minded green, but their green we weren't a fan of.
Yeah, I mean...
It was a pearly green.
Conceptually having a green car sounds good until you see the green that they offered. And I'm like, I don't like that. Not at all. Not even a little bit. But, so they had a white one there, and it had the features that we were looking at, and then also it had a few extras that I would not have chosen to put on the car. It had a few extra things that I would have been like, if I was building this car from scratch, I would not have included these things. And one of the things that we knew that we had available to us was a Costco auto dealership program.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever we went in and we talked to the guy, the first thing we said is, we want to see the Costco prices, you know, because we want to know.
You have to go through Costco to do that and put in your Costco number, which we did online ahead of time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they said, okay. Came back with a new price sheet, and it dropped the price $2,000 immediately. And that's pretty good. Like, just knowing that $2,000 came off the sticker simply from being within the Costco auto program is, like, pretty nice. That being said, we had done a lot of research on this car. And we knew from using Edmunds, from using Kelley Blue Book, that a better price could be had. I didn't know what the Costco price was going to be. We had to, like, find out from them, but I was like...
you can't find that out online.
But I was like, you know, I want to know what this is, and we'll see if it's good enough. And, you know, so I had a very specific price in mind. And this was not like a lowball price. Whenever you go to Kelley Blue Book, they give you a range of fair prices, and then right in the center is what they call, like, fair market price. So this is a price where, like, I understand the dealer is going to make money. They have to. That's fine. But I think it's a fair deal for both parties involved. And because of that, I was like, that's basically my number. So, you know, whenever they come back and the dealer, you know, they were looking at this, I basically needed it to be $1,000 cheaper than it was. They had already knocked $2,000 off. I needed it to be another $1,000 cheaper. And I told him, I said, you know, hey, we're pretty close. I need it to be $1,000 cheaper. And, you know, the guy's like, yeah, I'll go get my sales guy and we'll see what we can do. So the sales guy comes in, and I mean, I want to preface this by saying that I really enjoyed the people that we talked to. Mm-hmm. I know that car salesmen can have a bad rep, and, like, to some degree, yeah, you are the dealership, so there is going to be some level of pressure in that. But that being said, I felt like things went pretty well. Like, I don't feel like they were beating us over the head or were rude,
yeah, or
anything like that. So the car's list price had already come down $2,000, but I told him, I said, you know, based on what I know, I feel like the car should be $1,000 cheaper. And you know, he was like, you know, there was a lot that was said mm-hmm. at that point about, you know, that's very low, and, you know, where are you getting these numbers? And I told him, I was like, you know, I'm not trying to cheat anybody. Like, there's a range. I'm not going for the low ball. I'm looking at something that's, like, square in the middle, fair for both parties. You guys make some money, we get the car for a reasonable price that, you know, brings some money off of the sticker. This seems good to me. And you know, he was like, well, you know, like, I'll show you the Costco pricing sheet so you can see exactly how we price the cars, where it's, you know, a certain amount over invoice and what we're basing all of this on. And Mal was a bit of a nervous wreck.
Yeah, I hated it. I hated everything about yesterday except the end.
Mal was very fidgety, and you were waiting for it all to be over.
Oh yeah.
I do really well under high stress situations. So I just sat there with a heart rate of 56 beats per minute and just casually talked to everyone about everything. And, like, the great thing is, when
Setsy's right. Mel is what they wanted, Steven was what they got.
So the great thing is, I didn't have to have a car yesterday. Like, I can leave. There's other Subaru dealerships. I might have to drive a little bit, but, like, you're either going to do what I want you to do or I'm going to leave. Period. And, I mean, the car was in the showroom. You know, it was going to be a hassle to get it out. And I was looking at it and I was like, this has extra stuff that I don't even, necessarily need in it. And the number that I gave them, I had talked to them because it had some extra stuff in it.
Like if you were building it on the website and like saying, I want this, you would have never picked these things.
I don't want mud flaps. I don't need mud flaps. I just don't care. So I had considered the fact that this was in here, and I had increased my internal price a little bit to compensate for the fact that it had some more stuff in it. And that's the price that I had, given them. But I told them, I said, I needed $1,000 cheaper. So we went back and forth for a little bit. Eventually he left the room and he said, no, I'm willing to do better than the Costco price. He's like, but we're gonna have to see what I can do. So he leaves for a little bit. There's a lot of back and forth. Eventually he comes in and he has almost hit that mark. He's real close. It's within I think $200. But it was still $200. So, so I told him, I was like, up to this point, I have not mentioned the trade-in. Haven't mentioned it. It hasn't even been a discussion point. We're close to the price that I want, that I think is fair. And I haven't mentioned the trade-in at all. And I said, we are so close. So close. And he's like, because he would make a change and then he'd say, do we have a deal? And I'd be like, no. So after doing that a few times, and he said, do we have a deal? I said, we're so close. I said, maybe we can get there. I said, I have a trade-in. He goes, you have a trade-in? I said, I have a trade-in. He's like, oh, that's wonderful. So I hand him the keys and he goes, looks at the car. And it's important that Mal and I know the value of the car. The Blue Book value, the trade-in value of the 2004 Ford Escape is low. We're talking like $350. Not good. Maybe on a private market, I probably could have got $1,000. Like if I was trying to sell it on Craigslist or Facebook, that would have been my hope. But I also didn't want to deal with that. I really just wanted to trade it in and be done with it. So I was, they left the room and I'm thinking, if I can at least cover, this trade-in, this $200 or whatever that I'm missing off of this price, then I'll feel good. He came back in.
New paper.
New paper on the table, $1,000, and I'm thinking, you fool. And I said, we got ourselves a deal. And I could not believe it. And I couldn't say anything to Mal. And I look over at her and she looks at me and we're both thinking, what? How? So, it worked out okay. We ultimately took, near as a hair, $3,000 off of the sticker price between Costco and then my negotiations. And then we got $1,000 for the trade-in. So I left there pretty happy. I did.
Oh, doodle.
200,000 miles on a Ford. They must have given me a bunch of money because they were like, this is a magical car. This car is full of wizards and fairies.
The headliner fell down, but it's still magical. It lasted 200,000.
I mean, and the car admittedly, from the outside and inside too, the interior, it's in good shape.
It's never been in a wreck.
We actually kept really good care of it. So it worked out well. And the other thing that we did is all of this is happening.
When I priced it on Kelly, I said fair, not even good. I said eh.
So one of the things that we also did is we went in at 4:00 and they closed at 7 and we left at 8:15. So all of the main negotiations were happening right at closing. So I don't know if that was
part of it
or not, but
they didn't want us to come back tomorrow.
But it helped. And again, I'm sitting there very, very calm dealing with all of this, and mentally I'm just thinking, I haven't edited a vlog in 5 days. I'm I really I'm happy to be here, happy to get this taken care of. I'm glad we're gonna have a car now. I gotta go home and edit another vlog. That's all I'm thinking about. And I look over and Mao's fidgeting, and I'm just thinking, You know, if we could just speed this up so I can edit that video. But it was great. It was great. And like I said, we are leasing the car, but we have obvious plans to buy it out. If something goes wrong, since we are leasing, we can turn it back over in 3 years. But I do not expect that we'll do that. And it's exciting. The car has features. I'm having a hard time getting used to. It's all that time playing Skyrim. Thank you. I'm having a hard time getting used to trusting the car. And I've only driven it once now. I've driven it from the dealership home, and we had to stop and get groceries last night. Even simple things, like the lights are auto. I mean, you can make them manual too, but like I'm trying to trust technology, and it's really hard.
When we drove away, the lights on our Ford Escape were so dim. I was like, do you have your brights on? There's a car coming. And he's like, no.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. Mallory was like, Steven, your brights are on. And I was like, they're not. And I turned my brights on, and she's like, oh my God. I was like, you know, I've suspected for a long time that the lights on the Escape were weak, but this kind of proves it.
Yeah.
And like, we went from like incandescent to LED also, so that's probably playing some role. But like, God, the lights were bad. Thomas says, you're insane if you don't like auto lights. I've never had them. Do you know how hard it is to trust that the car is going to turn on and off your lights? That's really difficult. The other thing I'm struggling with is that every Forester, all the new Foresters, no matter what trim level, have rear backup cameras. Yeah. And like, that, I understand that I'm seeing behind the car.
You still want to look behind
I don't trust it. I'm like, nope, can't trust this demon magic. So we've come up with a compromise where I will do it my way and Mallory will watch the camera. And I'm like, cool. This actually increases, so we're actually like...
Both of us looking.
Both of us are looking now. I'm like, I can live with that. So I will still turn my head around and back up the car, and she'll look at the backup camera. So, yeah, it's gonna be a work in progress for me. And like, there's, you know, it's a new car, and I'm excited about that. But also, there's a lot of tech that's just nuts to me, where it's got cameras on the front where it like can read the road to help keep you within the lines. It's got like the auto braking system. So if someone cuts you off, it'll brake. Or if
there's something stopped and you're not stopping fast enough, it'll stop for you.
It'll stop for you. So it's got a lot of safety features, whereas which
are nice, but like, it's like, is it actually gonna stop? We need to stop.
Well, I'm not gonna like not brake. Oh, like, no, the car's got it. You know, it's...
He said it would stop really hard, which isn't good on the car.
Yeah.
So...
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
But also, like, this car actually has safety features, which is nice. Renee says, my car shuts off at stoplights. Yeah, this one does too. And, like, you can turn it off. But I'm trying to just allow myself to use... I don't want to, like, start by turning off everything and being like, I gotta put it into Ford Escape mode, and then, like, just, this is how I'm gonna drive the car. I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying to say, this is a 2020 vehicle. This is a vehicle 16 years newer than what you've been using. Try and utilize these features. And I'm like, okay. Thomas says use Cruise. I have to go back to using Cruise.
Yeah.
Because I used Cruise whenever I had my car for the longest time, and then just a few years ago I stopped. And I got to start using Cruise again. And this Cruise has got the thing where, like, it looks at the cars in front of you and matches the speed.
And that's something Paul's talked about, because he drives so many rentals that have it, and he's like, it's nice.
And, like, a lot of it's a trust issue for me. Like, I have to trust the car to do a thing. And that's difficult, you know, so we'll see. We'll see what happens.
People say they never use cruise control. I didn't have it on my first car, the Kia that I had when we got married.
Oh, I remember.
The Kia had nothing.
I used it all the time going here to Savannah and back.
On the Escape.
On the Escape?
Yeah.
And when we lived in Columbia and we would come to Myrtle Beach and go back and forth between that, I used Cruise. It's nice. All it really does is it gives your foot a rest. It's basically what it is. Because if you're on long trips...
You have to get used to, like, how you have your foot on a particular vehicle if you're not using it.
Yeah.
This much pressure is going to keep it at 65.
Yeah, and I'm not going to use my cruise control riding around town.
Yeah.
But if I'm on the interstate or the highway or something, like cruise control is very helpful. It's really helpful on long car trips. There's been a few times where we've rented a car that did not have cruise control, and it's fine. But if you're traveling for a long distance, being able to set cruise control and you don't have to have your foot stuck in a very specific position for a long time is nice. I didn't have it. I didn't use it when we went to and from Wisconsin last year.
Yeah.
And it was okay. No one died, but if I have the option, I prefer to use it. So anyway, yeah. So we have a car now.
Yeah.
And someone was asking if it has CarPlay. It does. It does have CarPlay, and that's. I've had a chance to use CarPlay once when we rented a car in Denver, and I was like, oh, this is good. I always suspected that it would be good because you're taking, what you already know and applying it to the vehicle's entertainment system. Because most of the brand's vehicle entertainment systems are bad. Ford's is notoriously bad. Chevy's was not great either. But when you're using like CarPlay, or if you have an Android, if you're using Android Auto, those things are good. So that's nice.
Renee asked if I liked driving it.
Have you driven it?
No, I haven't. I didn't even test drive one.
I was like, you didn't test drive it.
Stephen drives most of the time because I'm not super comfortable, especially at night, because I have really bad astigmatism and I get really bad light halos. So I don't drive, especially at night. But I do drive sometimes. Like to your parents' house or something. But I haven't driven the Forester yet.
No.
But one thing I liked is, I sat in the driver's seat and I could see. Like, I felt like if I looked behind me, I could see out of it really well for blind spots.
Yeah.
And we sat in some of the Toyotas, and, Toyota's a good brand, and I liked the RAV4 and the Highlander, but I didn't feel like I could see out of them as well.
Yeah, and this is just a tiny thing. One of the things I noticed on the Forester as compared to, most other cars is the area between, the driver and the driver and passenger door, where the door meets the windshield, there's normally
There's
a little triangle
where the mirror goes normally.
Yeah. That triangle in the Forester's glass, which it's normally not on most vehicles, and it was just a tiny thing that I saw, and I was like, that's really neat. It gives you a little more visibility out that way, where you normally wouldn't have it. So it's cool. Anyway, That's what happened yesterday. That's what happened yesterday. That's why there's no vlog. But hey, there's a car. There's a car, and I think the thing that gives me, I have peace of mind over the fact that I don't think the car will explode or die now, and also the next step will be trying to figure out how to clean up the massive amount of oil that's in the garage.
Yeah, we've done some research on that already.
But on top of that, I just don't have to think about
You say massive like it's a puddle. They're like.
It's big.
There's little drips, but because of where we park, because we just kind of park in the middle because there's only one car in the garage, so
there's a lot. Are you kidding?
Oh, I've seen worse. Tons worse.
Well, I just look at it and I'm like, we're gonna have to clean that up before we move out of here. That's not good. I'm just glad that it's over.
DC Racer says Coke. Actually, I looked at that. But I'm worried that we're going to just attract fire ants because we get so many ants in this area.
Yeah, for what it's worth, I think Coke would do it for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Mal, you said club soda?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have the sugar?
People were also saying, baking soda and a paste or kitty litter and some other stuff.
Burning it off works in GTA 5. Bearling says, was the old car leaking oil? Yeah. For the past... Maybe it's been months at this point. Past few weeks, past few months. Yeah, when the car is turned off, it was leaking oil.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool. That's fine. That's, But hey, it's gone now. 146,000 miles of service. We salute you. Thank you so much. Well, 206,000, just 146,000 for us, but 206,000, which is astounding for that vehicle. Back to alerts quick as we try and wrap up here because we're past 10. We got subs from It's Blazing Roy. We also got Paint Chipper gifting a sub to Subaru. Zoom Zoom.
That's Mazda.
Wait, really?
Yeah. That was the Mazda commercial.
Oh, Subaru is It's Love. Time for
Love,
Subaru.
that's what makes Subaru
That's
Subaru,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. Subaru. It's love! Something, I don't know. Cars. Subaru. Like a rock. Kikyo539 gifted 5 subs. They went to Doan 2300, The Game Free 12, Steph Muffin, Victoria Swift, and Pocketta Monster. Kikyo, thank you again for the gift subs this morning. I appreciate that. Zach Chillman sent 500 bits and said, I bought an 09 Civic for $10K with 80,000 clicks a few years ago. It's got 130,000 clicks, so it's not as used as yours, but if you take care of it, it will last a while. Hopefully this new Subaru works well for you guys. Just don't destroy it day one. Well, day one was yesterday, and we're not going anywhere today, so that test passed. So far, so good. It is interesting having a car from its single-digit mileage. Like when we drove it off the lot, it was at 9, and that's crazy to me. But it is nice to know that when we finally hit 100K, that we're going to look at that and say that those miles are ours. We drove this thing. Like this is how far we've went. We know that the car has been in our hands the whole time. We don't wonder what's happened to it. And of course, the other thing is like you have the warranty too.
Yeah, you're driving it when it's most reliable. And I mean, if we do a buyout on it after the lease is up, the buyout price is much better than a used price.
Yep.
For the same age, like when that happens, if Subaru's trends for used cars continue.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, overall, I'm satisfied with how yesterday went. 300 bits from Paint Chipper. He says, "Did you take a bite of toast yet?" No. I haven't.
Sagan is so relaxed. He's on Steven's legs, and he's stretched out so far in both directions, and he's just asleep. He's so cute. Fossick says, 3 squared good. Keep eating your toast. But yeah, we're having everyone over today. I don't know what games we're going to be playing or anything.
Whatever people want to play.
Yeah, it's going to also depend like on how many people are here.
Ooh, we just got a
new one, yeah.
Cyanide and Happiness sent us a copy of Trial by Trolley. The Kickstarter edition. I don't know what it's called. Derailed? I think it's called Derailed.
I think so.
And the story of that is that they saw our Joking Hazard videos.
Mm-hmm. That Chaz programmed.
Because Chaz like programmed it, and they liked it, and they asked if we'd be interested in making videos on Trial by Trolley, and I was like, yeah, that'd be really cool. And this was before their Kickstarter launched, and then I just never heard anything for months. And basically we fell through the cracks because they were running a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And I got an email the other day that was like, hey, we are so sorry. As an apology, we're just going to send you this game. Don't worry about having to make anything for it. It's just our appreciation of the fact that you guys are fans of Cyanide and Happiness and the, and Joking Hazard.
We appreciated your video, yeah.
And I was like, okay. So yeah, we got that in the mail the other day, and it's a big box. Yeah, it's a big box, so maybe at some point that'll come to the channel. And yeah, Elio says, speaking of Joking Hazard, would be nice to see more. We might do more of that too, because it's all set up. So.
Mm-hmm. I think Sagan is touching your ankles.
He is as stretched out as you could possibly be right now. Like, fully.
Diddy Eggs wants to know coffee creamer preferences. Stephen does not have coffee. No sugar, no creamer.
I mean, like, I can eat it.
Drink it,
whatever.
I
Freeze the coffee creamer and serve it to me as a solid.
Gone.
I don't personally use it, but like sometimes, I don't know if this counts as creamer, but like sometimes on a car trip, if I want something sweet but I also want coffee, I'll have them do I won't have them put sugar in it, but I'll have them do like a caramel thing. Is that creamer? It's probably not creamer. It's just like a flavor shot, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a flavor shot.
Okay, well then I don't use creamer. I feel like my bathroom troubles would be worse if I used creamer.
Here's Sagan.
Who can say?
On Mod Channel.
Who can say? You know, you got a picture to see. People want to see
Chess,
what the cat looks like.
Chess said why it broke. Because Brandon had said the year as that, so it displayed it for that many seconds.
Oh! Oh, that's funny. That is actually very funny. It's because,
There's Sagan.
It's Sagan. Yeah, he's all stretched out. When Brandon put in the subtitle text as 2020 Subaru, it read it as 2020 seconds. So it was going to stay on there for 2020 seconds. And that is funny. That is very funny to me. 300 bits from Jam, who says, okay, now I really want to see Stephen play Deal or No Deal for the Nintendo DS after that story. It's on Wii, isn't it?
I think so. Someone sent it.
I think it's on Wii. If we don't play Deal or No Deal during the Extra Life event this year, I would be very surprised. I would be very, very surprised. 300 bits from Space Fix and Music. Okay, but the real question is, have you given the new car a name yet? I never do that. There's a lot of people I've talked to that give like their cars or their computers names, and I've just never been the person to do that. I called the other one the Ford.
The Ford.
Or the Escape. And same thing here. I'm probably going to call this one the Subaru. Forester doesn't roll off the tongue as easy, IMO.
Yeah.
So I like just being like the Subaru. Because if I give it a name, I don't think I'll stick with it. I really don't. I think I'll just drop down to Subaru again. What's Subaru backwards? You're a bus. Wait, no, that's not it. No, it is. You're a bus. Which is not fair, because it's not. It's not a bus. Also, remarkably close to Uranus. Like, this is my butt car. I gotta move on. For pro tip, figure out what things are backwards before you say them. 4 months from KRC David. Congrats on the new car. So happy for you guys. Love the orange trim. Thanks, David. We also liked it. And of all of the things that like they had, I think that was the prettiest.
The prettiest.
It was the prettiest. I like that. And honestly, that little orange trim gives it that like little extra like, oh look, it's a little sporty car. That's one of the reasons I enjoyed it. We have 100 bits from Haney05. Thank you, Haney. Fossix gifted a sub to Yuki Mariani. I think you got that right. Putting them at 5 months. Thank you, Fossix. 300 bits from Shy, who says, for Mallory, you stated during Extra Life that you watched OG Digimon back in the day. Word is they're remaking / rebooting the original series. Does such news interest you, or are you indifferent?
I haven't heard that they were, so I think that's exciting to me. I'd like to see it and see how it is. I'm not tied to like the voice actors because I watched it when it came out, and I haven't seen it since, so their voices aren't going to stick in my head as well.
Okay.
So I don't feel like if it's a different voice actor or something, I'd be upset. So it's going to kind of be new. So as long as like the story's right and the animation is good, like I think I'd like it.
So have you seen like the entirety of like season 1 from Digimon or something?
I believe it's season 1 and 2.
Oh, okay. So you've seen that much.
Because it's like the original, and then they go back to Tokyo, and I've seen all of that. And then when they get the whole new group of kids, that's when I stopped.
I think I've seen episode 1? Maybe? And that's it? Like, to put it into perspective, I think I've seen more Monster Rancher than I've seen Digimon. And I've seen two episodes of Monster Rancher.
Remake.
Okay.
Because like they did, I've been watching the Fruits Basket remake when it came out. I'm really excited for season 2. And, like, they did a really good job with that. I wanted you to watch that, but I knew you would never have time. So I just watched it.
I mean, that's fair.
But I'd watch it again if you wanted to watch it.
Noted. Noted. Paint Chipper gifted us up to Eurobus. Thank you. Appreciate it. And now, forever, everyone will collectively refer to the car as Eurobus. Or they'll just call it bus. They'll be like, you're a bus. Bus.
Let's get in the bus.
Everyone get in the bus.
You drive a bus?
And we'll just tell them, yes. Okay, that is it. We're going to go ahead and end it here. Thank you all so much for being here. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, we continue through Yoshi's Island. We're now halfway through it.
Yeah.
And Mao has been continuing to play off screen.
Yeah.
So she can...
I just finished World 3.
So you're right where we need to be.
But I haven't done 100%.
On that stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You 100%ed World 1 and what, most of World 2?
Most of World 2.
Most of World 2.
And then I started playing after we did last week's because then I had to catch up, but I haven't 100%ed all of them.
Okay.
Some of them are hard, and I know some of them get
yes.
really hard.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh no.
We've only done the first half of the game.
Are we using the Switch then to show off the extra stuff at the end? Because I've 100%ed more of those?
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think...
So then I may have you play a few levels that I can't get.
Sure. So there may be a stream in the future that's just...
The bonus stuff.
The bonus stuff. Or something like that. Anyway, alright. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy your Thursday. We'll see you back here tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern for Yoshi's Island.